Good morning,
Hello.
Holly.
Hello, Cesar. How are you
Hi, how are
going?
you? Fine, fine, thank you. So today we're going to talk about coronavirus 19. Well,
Yes,
the well-known virus from China that spread all over the world and caused a pandemic. So it was like this, so deadly. Here in Peru only we have more than 200,000 deaths, and Peru is the most damaged country per capita. We have the highest index of death so far, even though the government has stopped the measures to prevent it. What do you think about how was the vaccination process?
well, it was quite controversial, especially because a lot of politicians get involved in that, and they get vaccinated first place than the population. So that was a very controversial situation. As far as I know, it's supposed to be one of the best systems here in South America because they get very organized and prioritize the most damaged population. For example, people from old ages get vaccinated first, and then the young ones got last. So at that point, it was working, but I think it gets involved a lot of problematic situation because a lot of persons of young age get vaccinated first, and that wasn't not transparent at all. So, well, it was quite complicated, at least.
Yes, and I think that the vaccination process was very successful at the beginning, but now
Yes.
the people have forgotten that there is coronavirus in the in the air, so they have stopped to vaccinate themselves.
Yes, indeed. So what do you think, Cesar, about food exercise? Do you have any tips to help people during the COVID-19 health emergency?
Well, first of all, during the lockdown, there was the biggest problems for mental health. So it was mandatory to, I don't know how to say it, but you have to beware of your mental health, and exercises are good for that. Eating good, eating well, and try to keep, I tried to keep myself busy during the lockdown because that was the only way to forget that we were in a very dangerous situation. How was your lockdown for you?
Well, for me, it was quite easy because I am very private person. I didn't get out too much, so it was very entertaining in that point. But I get affected because my father suffered from coronavirus before the vaccination process. He will be 1 week before he gets sick 1 week before he will be vaccinated. So it was very problematic. And well, he's still alive, but it was very I feel very anxious in that moment. And I think because we are in pandemic, I didn't have my sister, I didn't have my mom, because I didn't see them. So in that time, it was that affected me a lot. And the worst part, we didn't see any of our family that were sick in that time because they are in a very private area, and they didn't get any visit at all because they were sick. And COVID-19 is infectious virus. So at that point, if you don't see your family that are sick, that affect you a lot, and of course affecting them too. My father told me that he started feel lonely in that time because he was alone in his room. So I don't know, I have a second thought of that.
Well, that's very dangerous. It was very dangerous way before the vaccine. Hopefully, I won't have COVID. I haven't had it. My wife had COVID, but she was with a third vaccine, so it was so mild. The effects was like a flu, just like a flu. And I didn't get any symptoms. I don't know if I wasn't, if I didn't get the COVID or I was symptomatic. I don't know. I will never know because they didn't make me the examinations that day.
Yes, indeed. We never know.
We'll never know.
Yes. So Cesar, what government or people can do to prevent and slow down the transition in that era?
I know that the only way to be safe now is the vaccination. There's no other way because there's no cure.
Yes,
Yes,
totally
we
agree.
still don't have a cure for the COVID. I'm sure that the scientists will have a cure someday, but now we have to live with it. We have to vaccinate, I think, every year. I know every once in a while, because it's changing, it's mutating the virus, and they have different streams. So I think we can't stop worrying about the COVID-19 because it's still in the air. I don't know how it's going to be now that we have no countermeasures to prevent it. But because I know that in Europe, there is still a new wave of COVID right now,
Yes.
going up. And the health problems that we have in Peru, like hospitals and oxygen, are still not resolved. So if we have another wave, I don't know if we are able to fight it properly.
Yes, and that's important because for now, one of our new, like, I don't know how to say it, but one of our new rules is supposed to be a rule right now, is that it's not that important, or it's not like, it's not prohibited to didn't wear a mask right now. So you can get out without a mask at all. So I don't know if that could be a certain point difficult, or probably will be beneficial in that time. So I'm very worried about it because coronavirus is supposed that will be mutated in a different kinds of type of virus. And I don't know, for example, we started with Omicron, then Delta, then another one. We don't know. We don't know at all if it's mutated in a different virus with more dangerous symptoms. And of course, we are not necessarily wear a mask right now. So we are not that protected. So maybe I don't know, I have my own doubts in that. I am still wearing a mask because we don't know. We never know. We can be settled down a certain thing because it's happened before. we settle down things like, oh, we'll be fine, and it's just a virus like a flu, and it wasn't that true. So we never know.
Yes, we never know. And it has been a very challenging time. We were living, I remember living like in a different state of mind. Now we know that we have a deadly threat around us, around all the world. It's the first time in my life that I've seen a threat like this. And we have to change our way of living, wearing masks, not being in a place with too many people. Well, now I'm happy not to have to wear the mask because it's very annoying. But I think that it's not over. It's not over, and there are many challenges ahead of us because of the coronavirus.
Yes, totally agree. What an interesting conversation, Cesar. Nice to meet you again. Bye.
Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Nice to see you.
I'm going to stop the record.
Yes.